Hello and welcome to your first episode of Halal-ish. It's where me, Ola Labib, Azia Mirza, and Zain say the unsayable.
Ooh.
So first, I'd like to welcome Zain.
Hi guys!
Oh my God, step away from your headphones.
Step away from the
And the beautiful Shazia Mirza.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, everybody. And also our white listeners, you're most welcome.
Mashallah, mashallah. You never know, a few of them might convert after this. So let's take it one step at a time. So today's topic, we're talking about halal jokes and haram looks. What's being a Muslim female and funny? From being side-eyed by aunties to being ghosted by Netflix. Today, we're going to spill the tea on how we've survived the comedy circuit and all of its community critics.
Ooh, this is exciting.
I think this is really important because I think me and Shazia can say that we're probably one of the only Muslim comedians. There are a few scattered around, but Shazia was the first ever Muslim comedian in the world.
Mm-hmm. Muslim female.
Muslim female comedian.
Well, that's how I identify. Obviously, people have made comments about my looks as they do when you're on stage and in the public eye. We get it a lot. We get it in the neck all the time as Muslim women, but I identify as a female, and I am very, very. But I'm very.
I thought you were going to go identify as a comedian. No, as a female.
Yeah, I was like, where's she going with this? Where's she
I
going with
mean,
this?
I have been called many things over the years, but I identify as a female and as a comedian. When I first started comedy, I was the only female stand-up, and now there's about 5 of us, so things are moving at a very fast rate. Um,
Okay, so do you think that's because of lack of support from our community, or do you think
is
it's the
there
industry not taking us in?
there are so many factors. There's been a history of black comedians from Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock. There's been a
Dave
history
Chappelle.
of and there's been a huge the history of white comedians, Jewish comedians. There has never been a history of Muslim comedians. And
Mm.
what you could say is that we now, comedy queens, me, you, Zain, and the others, we are. It's a movement really that we've created where we've got this ball rolling where not only do we talk about our religion, our culture, our heritage, being women, all the problems that we face. These are subjects that Richard Pryor talked about when he was the first black comedian. And I think when we start this kind of movement, which is what we're doing now, we get a lot of criticism. We get it in the neck. We get a lot of abuse. And I think that just comes with creating new ground, which is what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. But do you feel we're getting it more from our own community or other communities? Because I'm finding there's like such a balance. Before, do you know when I first started, I would say it was predominantly racists coming for me, but now I would say there's about an equal balance. And
Mm.
like I think people don't understand that we're human. So everybody sins, everybody makes mistakes. So if I
Yeah.
make a joke about something or I swear or I'm like, oh, shut up or whatever, they're like, sister, haram, sister. How can you say that, sister? But actually, I'm just being authentic. Like, even
Yeah.
now when I'm doing these troll response videos, so people are racist to me in the comments and I respond to them. I would have thought like Muslims would have my back. Like, yeah, good for you for standing up for yourself or making them look like idiots for what they're doing. But actually, there's this kind of like army, the racists and the Haram police have united against me. And it's like, who's going to have my back? Zain, is it the same in America, would you say?
No, to be quite honest, I'm quite popular on the socials, but not for a good reason. I have a video that's right now going very viral on Instagram. and I put it out for Mother's Day. And as you guys know, I'm an actress. So I was acting in the video and I wrote Happy Mother's Day to me. And there are these four hotties. Wait, are they
I
four?
saw it.
Yes, four hotties just looking at me as I'm like kind of like not moving. I'm not even like really dancing, but just moving around, looking kind of sad. And oh my God, this video is going viral in the Middle East, and the amount of hate. You're absolutely disgusting. If you were my mother, I would like kill myself. I hate you. You're
What
so
the
old.
hell?
Who do you, oh my God, I get videos where someone once told me, not videos, comments, where someone once told me you should just stone yourself. Like if you were my mom, I would have killed you.
Jane,
Astaghfirullah.
are these comments mainly from men or women?
It's a mix, Shazia. It's a mix. Men and women, but they're all in the Middle East and they're all in Arabic. And that primarily was my problem. I thought if I started social media in Arabic, I would be able to change the mindset of viewers over there and how they view comedy and how they view women and how they view older women. I'm in my 40s. I'm not that old, but for them, I'm like extinct. It, and it
What the
backfired
hell?
on me.
So we all get this abuse. Like I recently, some charity contacted me and said we would long letter. We would love you to come and perform for us on our comedy night. It would be an honor. It would be great. It all went through my agent, all legitimate.
Hmm.
And then this guy started messaging me on Instagram saying, "Can I have a photo of you? I'll put it on the poster." I said, "Fine." Next thing I know, he sends me a message saying, "I'm sorry, we're cancelling you." I thought, my God,
Do you know what? Muslim charity. Do you know what? I don't want to turn this into a cussing out Muslim charities. But number one, okay, they've seen your social media. They know what you do. So if they haven't done their research, that means they're a bit moronic in themselves, number one. Number two, you've done a lot for Muslim charities.
Mm-hmm.
You've done stuff for
but
Palestine. You do My Sudan fundraisers. You've done fundraisers for the Congo. You've done loads of Islamic events. So what is it that they have seen that none of these other people have seen?
so
And
then, well, they messaged my agent and said, "Oh, she said something negative about Islam." And then my manager said, "Well, can I have some evidence for that?"
Yeah.
Um, and they didn't
good.
reply. They
Oh
didn't
Of course,
my
they didn't
God.
reply.
They didn't reply. Then my manager emailed them again and said, "This is very serious allegations you are making against her because actually it's dangerous. If
Yeah.
you're going around saying this person is anti-Islam or negative
Yeah.
about Islam, A, it's not true. But two, if you're putting those rumors and gossip out there, it's dangerous for me. And also, if you're a true Muslim, you would not gossip, you would not lie,
Yes.
and you would remain silent, or you would approach me directly and talk to me
Yes.
directly and not put rumors out there. So I think a lot of these people are hypocrites.
Oh
Yes, they're
yeah.
raising money. Yeah, they want to help. They say they want to help the ummah, but I mean, but this is not helping the ummah. And I always feel like it's women that get it in the neck, that get criticised. I
Oh,
don't feel that.
100%.
I don't feel male comedians get this kind of criticism in the same way.
And can I just say, if he is listening, or for anyone who's listening, Shazia is probably my most like religious who actually like what that scares you.
Allah
I
Akbar!
know.
Allah Akbar!
Probably the one who follows the path the right way out of all my freaking friends. It's probably Shazia. She used to text WhatsApp us in the group and be like, guys, it's time for morning prayer, wake up, bismillah,
She
all the
actually
stuff.
did.
And I'd be like, okay, Shazia, thank you so much. Like, you made
And
me
then fall straight back
stronger
to
in my
sleep.
religious. And
Thank
of you did. But you made me feel stronger. And when you go to Hajj, you bring us like gifts like prayer mats, prayer clothes. So for that guy who's listening, show me the receipts. Show me the evidence.
But the
Do you
thing
know what it
is,
is?
Zane,
And some of these
as we
charities,
all know, in our religion, it's not about showing off how
yes,
religious we are. That
yes.
is
Yep.
actually frowned upon. But I've made me feel really uncomfortable to try and have to prove to him
Yeah.
that actually I'm a good Muslim. I was like, my agent wrote to him and said, she's practicing Muslim. She's done 14 umrahs. And I was like, I felt really uncomfortable giving that information out because that's between me and Allah. It's
But do you
nothing
know
to
what it is,
do
Shaz?
with me and that
100%.
guy.
Do you know what it is, Shaz? Is some of these people, even like white audiences or like non-Muslim audiences, when we first come out, they expect us only to talk about our religion, our race, what we do. So these comedians that like I've been on some I've done some Muslim charity events and not mentioning any names, I would rather watch paint dry on top of toe crust than listen to some of these people's jokes. Like there's dead jokes and there's exercised
Yeah.
hung on the cross dead
Yeah.
jokes, and it's just
Yes.
like that's what you want. They don't understand that there's more to us than our deen. When when we tell jokes, we tell anecdotes from our real life. We make observations on stuff that are not religious. We make observations on Weatherspoon, on pubs,
Yeah.
on this, on that. We make observations from our point of view because we're not just talking to Muslim audiences, we're talking to a broader audience. So just because you're talking about something that they, oh, today I woke up for Fajr and I accidentally prayed 3 rak'at. Ha 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 ha. These are the kind of dead jokes that they want, but
Mm.
they're not ready for us. They're not ready
Yeah.
to see that we are not just Muslim, but we are Muslims growing up in the West, and there's more to us. Obviously, religion is our way of life, but there
Mm.
is more to our personality than just our deen. And I think they're threatened by that, Shazia.
I think their problem is they feel like you can't be Muslim and be a comedian. If
But
you are,
you can have a penis and do that. Why can you do that?
It's
That
true.
doesn't
No,
make
it's
sense.
true.
If I had a penis, they'd be like, okay.
yeah, but they feel like as a Muslim woman, I've had people say this is that, it's haram. You shouldn't, as a woman, be doing this, and that you can't be a practicing proper Muslim and be a stand-up comedian.
Do you
You
know
know
what? When
what?
my mum
You
used to say
can
that,
be.
hmm
Wait, you can be, because I have Muslim female friends. I don't know if it's different in the UK, but here in America, but they are not practicing. They say they're Muslim, they're not practicing. It's very obvious they're not practicing, you know.
hmm
Not that I am to judge, but like and people assume they're not practicing. Let me go backtrack myself. People assume. So it's okay for them to say certain things. But for us, with the way that they look, specifically the how modest we look, we are not allowed to because we represent Islam, you know? And I'm
hmm
like, don't make me, a token for all Muslim women. I'm not. In no way am I that. I have flaws, like you were saying, Ola. You know, there are things I want to talk about, things in my life that you might feel like is not halali enough to talk about, But
But then
it's
where's that
me.
line then? Then where do we draw that line?
But
I do
people,
believe like as a Muslim we do have responsibility. Like as a hijabi, we do have responsibility. Like remember that comedian you sent to me? Was it you, Shazia or Zain? You sent me a
Right.
comedian that we were going to have on our all women Muslim tour. And I looked at her content. She was a
oh
hijabi
yeah,
and I was like, what
yeah.
she says makes me extremely uncomfortable. Like even if a non-hijabi or a non-Muslim said that, it will make me feel really uncomfortable. So I do get that we do have to a certain extent a responsibility. Like I couldn't go on stage as a hijab and be like, yeah, the other day I went on a bender and I drank loads of bottles of vodka. Like I wouldn't do that because I know how that would make my community look. And saying that, I think it's dangerous because if a hijabi
Mm.
starts crossing every single boundary when it comes to us that are practicing and we're put forward for something, we were like, oh sorry, we can't do that because of our religion. They'll be like, oh but the other hijabi comedian did it. So
And Allah,
yeah.
that's because not all hijabis are practicing Muslims.
Amen. i
Yes,
mean
so
i
true.
mean
So
You
true.
know,
So true.
and this is a misconception, and
Mhm.
white people don't know this. They
yeah,
just every Muslim woman in a hijab, burqa, niqab is very devout and very religious.
agreed.
Mm.
But this is a misconception. A lot of young girls are grown up from the age of 5 and 6 and made to wear the hijab. So they've grown up
Right.
all their life wearing the hijab. Doesn't mean they're
hmm
practicing. And I know
100%.
women who don't wear the hijab and are really practicing.
Yes.
100% agree. I do
Very
agree. There
true.
are a lot. There are a lot. There are a
I
lot.
I
And
do
it's that
think there is a line, Ola. I don't think there is a line. As someone who is a practicing Muslim, but I do think there's a line. But for instance, like Shazia makes this joke sometimes about a halal sausage in one of her.
uh,
And then sometimes I've heard people get offended. How could she say sausage? Halal? I'm like, dude, what do you want her to say? Like, how else is she gonna? She's saying halal sausage. She's trying to make it as like
And,
halalish. Oh,
and
don't even say that.
what they don't realise is I could go a lot worse than sausage.
oh, we've heard.
I've actually toned
We've
it down.
heard.
We
I've
know.
toned it down for you, love.
Oh my
We
God, it's
know.
that whole thing about turning it down though, isn't it? And the thing is, like, going back to this charity, it's like, let's say I do say things that are a bit far-fetched. Obviously, if I go to a room that's full of a bunch of aunties and stuff, obviously, like, I'm going to cater for the audience that I'm
Yes. Yes.
performing to.
Yeah.
But that's something, but you hit the nail on the head when you said they're not artists, they're not comedians, they have
Yeah.
no idea. They're just
Mm.
running a charity
Yeah.
and they're just, they don't necessarily have any experience on it. But what really winds me up, wallahi, it's the double standards
Oh
that
yeah.
male Muslim comedians can swear
Mm.
left, right, and center and talk about this and talk about that. And we so much as utter something that's a little far-fetched and they're like, oh my God,
That's right.
astaghfirullah. Yet
Yeah.
the
That's
Yeah.
comedian
right.
that was on just before me that was saying 10 times worse, you were throwing your head back laughing at them. It's the double standards that
They
winds me
would
up in this
rather have
industry.
an unfunny. Uh, they would rather have an unfunny Muslim male comedian than have a really funny Muslim female comedian.
100%.
Because
I've
do you
That's
seen
know
some
so
of
what?
those
true.
lineups.
Like they don't know what we're doing. We are creatives. This is our art. This is our voice. We write, we perform, we create stuff. And they don't see that. They just see us as Muslim women.
Yeah.
So they want us to behave and speak as Muslim women. But
But the question is, what is behaving and speaking like a Muslim woman? What is that?
I was just gonna say, do you think it's because they're scared their women in their lives, be it their daughters, their wives, their whatever sisters, they don't want them to become like us?
yeah, yeah,
What they feel like we're just out there talking about our halal sausages on stage? Like, are they
yeah,
scared of that?
yeah. But the thing is, Zain, I know these men are hypocrites because when you look at the representation of Muslim men in the media, a lot of them do a lot of negative stuff. And
Mm.
they are married. They do have daughters. They are fathers. They are husbands. And yet it's do as I say, not as I do. So
Mm-hmm.
they want us,
Yes.
they want us to behave like a Muslim woman in Afghanistan. They don't want us to be creatives. But the thing is, you can't have your halal cake and eat it.
You cannot have your halal cake and eat it. It's really frustrating because sometimes they book these people for like Muslim gigs, certain comedians for Muslim gigs, and they do the Muslim circuit. But behind closed doors, categorically, we know what they get up to,
What
and it's
can I?
like we. But what you see with us is what you see is what you get. The way we are on stage is what we are behind closed doors. So would you rather have someone who's authentic, or would you rather have someone who pretends to be a good Muslim for a Muslim audience, but you know what he does behind closed doors, but you will still rather have him doing haram but
Yeah,
performing halal
I
than
think they
us
would.
being
yeah,
halal-ish?
they
They
would.
would. And can I say something? Can we rip off the band-aid for our listeners here and give them a little shocker? These comedians that play for these charity events, these halal events, they get paid way more if they were working for a non-charity event, a non-Muslim event. A lot more, thousands, thousands, thousands of dollars more. And I know that, and I don't play those events aside for the one I do with you guys, which is I like they are angels. They
Uh,
are medicat, angels coming from heaven. 26, the ones that we go to. Shout out to 26 brothers. We love you. Mwah.
uh,
Those are real Muslim brothers
they
there.
are they
But
are the gold standard of Muslim
they
men.
are. Those are real Muslims. But these people, I've known people, they're like, I don't want to work these charity events anymore, but they pay me so much money. They give me so much. They give me so much. Of course they're gonna play the game. Of course they're gonna be all pious and be like, "Salam, brother, yeah, yeah, yeah." Of course, if you're paying them in the thousands. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say an example. I play like when I used to do stand up. I do the Laugh Factory. Most of the times it's free. Some of the times, if I'm playing with someone big, like I'm opening for someone big, I'll get paid like $100, $200, and then I tip out people. When you do these charity events, people, they're paying you at least 8 grand, 10 grand.
Ay!
Yeah, this is
I'd wear a
numbers that
I'd
they
I'd
have
I'd I'd
given
I'd
me.
wear a burqa. I'd wear a burqa for 8 grand.
That's what I'm telling you. Let's just rip off the band-aid and let our listeners know what's going
But,
on.
I'm saying, are any of these guys actually funny? Any of them?
Ugh.
I don't know. Some are. Some I will say are funny, but when they're backstage with me, they're not halalified.
Oh,
When they're
yeah.
backstage
Oh,
talking
yeah.
to me,
The first time I did a charity gig and I saw the lineup and then we would travel from one city to another. I would sit on the front, obviously, because all the rest were guys. I was
mm,
paid the least, by the way, even though I was one of the most experienced comedians out of the group. But the stuff that they would talk about, at one point, wallahi, I turned around and I was like, guys, forget that I'm Muslim. I said, I'm a married woman. I said, don't have those conversations when I'm in
yep,
the car. It makes me
Right,
very uncomfortable. And it's
right.
like, not only are you a man, you're meant to be like a quote unquote religious man. Why are you having these conversations? I don't want to hear about your prostate. I don't care about what examinations you've had.
hmm
And it's not like from a medical point of view, like I'm a medical
Yeah,
person. They're just
yeah,
trying to be funny with it. And it's so inappropriate. And the thing that really winds me up, the driver who drives the van is part of the people who are in this organization. And it's like, why are you not turning around and telling these people to be quiet?
yeah,
Like, who has
right.
my back? And anyway, I ended up leaving that tour within 3 days because I was unappreciated, severely underpaid, and treated differently because I'm a Muslim.
mm,
But let that be a lesson that ever since that experience, I would never. I'd be open to do Muslim charity events, especially if I know where the funds are going. That's something you have to
Yeah,
look up because a lot of the times you don't even know where
right.
that money's going. I
yep,
will check their
yep,
company's house. I
Yeah,
will check their
yeah,
tax returns online. And
yeah,
I will read reviews from previous
yeah.
employees. And if even sense anything is dodgy, I won't do it.
And a
And the
lot.
second thing I will do, I'll be like, how much are you paying the other acts?
Oh, yeah.
How much are you paying them?
ooh,
Oh God, yeah, I always ask. My agent obviously asks when it comes to now that I'm with her, she'll straight up ask, how much is everybody getting paid? And if
Yeah,
somebody is less experienced than me and they're getting paid more than me, she'll straight up ask them why. But right now, I
mm,
always ask them, like, how much are you paying everybody else? Which is a
yeah.
very important question to ask because as a woman, you know that they're going to be paying you less unless you fight them.
yeah,
And
100% they would be.
a lot of these charities, Ola, that you just said about, you Google them online to see if they've paid their tax returns and stuff. You'll find a lot of these charities have already been investigated by the Inland Revenue.
hmm
There's already
Yeah.
a lot of negative reviews out there about, and there shouldn't be any. Because what you're doing here is this is zakat and this is
Yeah.
sadaqah. This is other people's money. There shouldn't be any investigations.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
this charity in particular that my agent wrote to, they wrote what initially they wrote and they said, "Oh, we can't have her on because it won't look good on the charity if somebody's making these kind of jokes." And I just thought it won't look good on the charity. What won't look good on the charity is you underpaying women, slandering women,
Yes.
lying about women,
Yes.
and
Yes.
treating women badly. That's what won't look good on the charity.
Yes. Yeah. Can we talk about the company that we work with, the event company, and how, like, not just to say they're just really true Muslim men or really true Muslim people, that when we started off and they had called me, I said, "Hey, I want you guys to know I'm a little problematic. Not everybody likes my jokes. I need you to go do your research about me, read the comments, because you need to be self aware of this." And they said, "We did do our research. We do. We want you there." And then when I'm out
It's
there, they
amazing.
always say, "Zain, say whatever you want, do whatever you feel like saying and doing. We have faith and trust in you guys. You guys are the comedians, you know?" And that's what this is what these people should be doing.
But they're
Instead of saying, no,
diverse.
we don't want to have you because you have a vagina or something.
It's because they're diverse. It's because they're a diverse group of guys who have come from different walks of life. Whereas a lot of the people that I can say personally that I've done work for, they're all of that same vibe. Let me
Yeah,
put it like that. They're all
yeah,
from the same upbringing, same
yeah.
thing. But we've spoken about we've spoken about it from the side of our own communities. How do you think other communities, like the white American community, the black American community, the white
Mm.
or black, well, I'm black, but you know what I mean, like communities that aren't Muslim, how do you think they've received you as hijabi Muslim women in the circuit?
Uh, for me, they freaking love me. In America, they freaking love me. When I used to do stand up, that's all I had was white, a mixed array, but more people who were not Muslim would come, and they would come and say, "We didn't know that women that look like you, I think they meant like look like we practice, could actually speak like that. Like you can actually be funny like that." I'm
How the
like,
hell do we speak?
"Really? Huh?
Oh,
Yeah, we can speak. We can be funny." I want everyone to know I love everybody. I don't care about your color, your race, your religion, your beliefs. As long as you're a good human being, as long as you are a good person, I love you.
Yeah.
Zain
Who
I
is
are
love
we?
you.
Who are we
Zain's
to
running for
judge?
president of the United States, by the way, guys.
We are not here to. We're not here to judge.
No, no, not
I'm
at
here.
all.
I'm literally here to be me. I'm here to tell my story. Do you
Yeah,
know today, wallahi, today I went to the gym for the second time in a long time. And I was trying my best to pick up a 10 kilogram dumbbell and
yeah.
struggling. And this big white bald guy came up to me and I was like, oh God, he's going to punch me. Is he going to fight me? And
Yeah.
he pointed at me and he said, are you Ola Labib? And I was like, oh my God, are you the bald guy that I roasted online? And I said, wallahi, I was this close to saying, no, it's not me. And so I kind of like, I nodded. I went, yeah, yeah, I'm Ola Labib. And he went, oh, I love you online. I love your content. I heard you on Richard Herring's podcast. You were so good. And you're going to be on Russell Kane's podcast next week. I just love your stuff. Keep doing what you're doing. And walked off. And wallahi, I was literally like, I was not accepting that. There were Asian women in the gym. There were black women in the gym. There
Mm.
was a few hijabis in the gym. Out of all of those people, the big, bold, white guy with tattoos came to me and told me
Mhm.
he loves my stuff.
So I get really young boys after me. I sent you a picture the other day of this young boy on the
Yes.
tube, of the boy on the tube. He must have been about 20, 21, just staring at me. I thought, my God, he thinks I'm Malala. Anyway, what happened was he said, a packed tube. You know, these young boys are so confident. And he went, excuse me, are you that comedian? And I went, Yes, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, I saw you at Top Secret Comedy Club. Oh my God, hilarious. Can I have a selfie? Packed tube. I'm like, shut up, will you? Just shut up. And then I'm on the tube, he's having a selfie, everybody's staring at me like, who the hell are you? Isn't it sad when people ask for a selfie and not everybody knows who you are? And so
Oh, I
people
love
are
that
looking at me like,
feeling.
who is this woman? Who is this woman? And then he has a selfie, walks off the tube, and I have to sit there while
Well,
everybody's
everyone's
staring at me.
staring.
Well, I always
No.
get these young boys after me. So I would really love your comedy, really love your comedy. But honestly,
It's
it's
because you're a
so
MILF. They've got an Asian MILF fetish. That's what it
Ooh.
is.
MILF. Can you explain to the listeners in America what MILF is?
Mother,
We
I'd
we
like
know what a
to
fuck we know what a freaking MILF is.
What is
I'm
it?
a MILF.
Are
They,
you?
we got MILFs here too in America.
Are you a MILF?
I think I'm a MILF. I don't know. Well, actually, everybody calls me auntie, so I don't think so.
Jane, you do give auntie vibe. Jane, I
I
can't get
get
over
total
your
auntie
Shaq
vibes.
video. I can't get over your Shaq video. Wallahi, I
Oh
can't get
my god.
over it. It was so funny. But I don't want to get off topic. So, yeah. So we get judgment. So we talked about the positives of people outside of our community. Do you feel you get more negativity from in your community or outside of the community?
I
100%
feel
in.
in.
Mm.
I'd
Um,
say mostly out, but a scatter of in.
Wow.
But
really?
yeah, oh
Really?
yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
amazing.
No, I think it's because like they know I've because I do these response videos, sometimes I literally just write underneath it. I'm like, guys, do you not see what I do? Do you want to be my next victim? Like, what are you doing? But I think because Instagram is a very one of the nicer apps. Today was the first time I re-downloaded Facebook because it's active, but I just don't have the app.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I literally thought to myself, wallahi, if I wasn't strong willed and like a bit dismissive, that is enough to understand why people are literally like depressed and stuff on social media. Um, I
Really?
remember Rosie Jones used to
Mm.
talk about Rosie Jones did a whole thing about like troll comments about her disability and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and
I
it was
saw it.
so awful. But like I
Mm.
went on Facebook and just the last video that I did, that woman that was being racist, so I made fun of her teeth. Oh my God, the comments that these racists were saying. It was
On
predominantly
Facebook?
on Facebook, it was predominantly
Mm.
them commenting pictures of women that have gone through torture in Afghanistan and
Oh my
Syria,
God.
and like articles. People would send me articles of women who have suffered domestic violence from their Muslim
What?
husbands. Yeah, really bizarre stuff. And like about how you're making fun of these people, but
Mm.
actually like what I find is that with the Muslim community, they're attacking you as like, oh, you're doing something haram. With
Yeah.
communities outside, is that like they judge you purely by your faith. You are a nobody. You are just a
Oh,
Muslim. You're not
yes.
you're not Zain, you're not
Oh,
Shazia, you're
yeah,
not a
yeah.
comedian,
Very
you're not a
true.
teacher, you're
Yeah.
not a mother, you're nothing. You are literally just a Muslim. So that's all they come for is your religion. And I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
I'm going to like I'm happy with with where I'm ending up. Alhamdulillah, inshallah, ya Rabbil Alameen.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
But that is literally what people get at. And for me, like when people say that, it's not my community. I really don't care what you say. I
Yeah.
truly believe when it comes down to it, it's jealousy. Alhamdulillah, I've got a good
Yeah.
job. I've got a good career. I've got my own property. I drive my own car.
Alhamdulillah.
Like I
Yeah.
live, alhamdulillah, a good life.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I
Mm.
don't care what they've got to say or what they think about me. I know myself and I know my deen.
Yeah.
But when Muslims come for me, it's like, bruv, you should be on my side. You should be supporting me.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? So I
Yeah.
feel it
Yeah.
hurts more when it comes from
Yes.
my
Yeah.
own. Do you think it hurts more when it comes from your own, or is it hurts regardless
I,
of
I
where it
think
comes
it
from?
does. It does because if you truly believe in Islam and practice Islam properly, the last sermon of the Prophet, peace be upon him, was,
Salam.
every Muslim is a brother to every Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ummah has to stick together. It's about helping the Ummah, helping other Muslims. So when I see this division and Muslims attacking Muslims, that's why the Muslim world is in such a weak state,
100%.
Yes.
because the Ummah doesn't stick together. And that goes right from Palestine right down to the comedy circuit, is that no,
Yes.
they attack each other instead of attacking the enemy. And
Hmm.
that's why we are in the state that we're in. And it
Mm.
hurts more because it's our religion, it's our deen that we should support each other and help each other. And
Hmm.
if you disagree with something we're doing, then speak to us calmly, nicely, privately, with respect,
Yep.
not attacking on social media in glare of the whole world, and
Mm-hmm.
calling us names and insulting us on the way that we look, and swearing at us. That's why it hurts, because you shouldn't be doing that to us.
You know what's so funny though? A lot of people, when they do this because they say, we're religious people and this is what we have to show our ummah the right way, that she shouldn't speak like this, she shouldn't do that. Just for 1 second, put yourself like, say, would the Prophet be okay with what I just said to you? would the Prophet alayhi salam be like, okay, you know what? Yeah, you should write that comment that she should like go and stone herself. Like,
Yeah.
why, like, whenever I'm living my life, I live my life the way, what would the Prophet alayhi salam do at this moment? There's that story, and I think it was you, Shazia. One of yous retold that story recently about how a man came into the masjid and started urinating. I don't know. He started urinating, and the prophet's like his friends were gonna go and yell at him, and the prophet said, "No, please wait. Just let him finish first,
Mm.
and then we will speak to him." I mean, like, goddamn, Islam teaches you the right way of how to be a good person. We have amazing examples. Why
Exactly
can't you
that.
live your life like that? You have an issue with me? Come to me privately, and I reply to all my DMs. You have an issue with me? Let's talk about it, because you know what? I might learn something from you. You truly might inspire me on something, and I might inspire you on something. Let's have an open, beautiful discussion with love and compassion behind it.
So I just think that people from different communities can learn. I was saying that there was a woman. Well, when the riots were happening, I posted a story. Posted a post on social media about how to spot a rioter: no teeth, drunk, and smelled like prawn cocktail crisps. So obviously, I got loads of hate on the comment section from these like pro reform, pro anti immigration people. But this one woman slid in my DMs and she was like, "What you said was really offensive." And I said, what?" I said, "What was offensive about it?" She said, "Saying that all these people are like this." I said, "No, I didn't say all of them. I said specifically the ones that have no teeth, that are drunk, that smell like prawn cocktail crisps." I said, "I didn't say every single one of them." And I said, "If that offended you," I said, I said, do you meet one of these criteria?" And she said, "I absolutely do not." And I said, "So I wasn't talking about you personally." And then she said, "But you know, these immigrants are coming to this country on boats and they're not working." I said, "Do you know what?" I said, "You're talking to me directly." I said, "I work." I said, "I'm a pharmacist for the NHS." I said, "I've been a pharmacist
Mm.
for coming up to 15 years." I said, "My brother is a doctor. He's been a doctor for the NHS for over 20 years." I said, "My father is a teacher, educating your children in this country. My mother's a teacher. My sister's a pharmacy student." I said, "This is just one family. Look how much we're contributing." Now, I said, "Imagine how many other people of immigrant backgrounds are contributing." I said, the media is making it look like it's just all of us, but I said, it's not. And then she was like, "Oh, but Tommy Robinson said." I said, "Tommy Robinson." I said, "Tommy Robinson has felonies." I said, "I'm going to ask you this question, and I
Tommy
want you to be as honest."
Robinson was in
I said, "What's Tommy
Belmarsh.
Robinson's job?" I asked. I said, "What's Tommy Robinson's job?" She didn't respond. Wallahi,
Tommy
3 days
Robinson.
later.
Tommy Robinson's been in Belmarsh. He's
Yeah,
a
do you know what I mean? He's got a criminal record.
Has he really?
Three.
Because Shazia tells me everyone's been to Belmarsh.
No,
I
this
think
dude
half of the
actually
UK
has.
has been to Belmarsh.
No, he actually has. This guy's an
he
absolute
actually has.
lunatic. He's an
He
absolute
actually has.
lunatic. And
Wait,
then
every time I see Shaw, she sees the guy. She's like, Zayn, that guy's been to Belmarsh. I was like, what?
This saying there's a lot of people that have been in Belmarsh.
I need to go to Belmarsh to check this place out. Seems like
oh my
everybody
god,
goes.
that'll be really fun
Saying
actually.
saying it's not a tourist attraction, okay?
But basically, she didn't respond to me. She didn't respond to me, and 3 days later, I got a long message from her. And
Mm.
wallahi, I actually messaged her and I said, "You know what? I really teared up because I said not many people would come back and say, actually, I was wrong." She said, "I started to watch like
Wow.
a lot of videos on, like debate videos on immigration. I started to watch like a lot of Tommy Robinson's debates and blah, 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 blah." And she said, "Actually, I was looking at statistics and you were right. The NHS is almost 50% people of immigrant backgrounds. And, you know, my mum had cancer and the people that looked after her, and it changed her ways." And then when I
Wow.
did my polarizing tour, wallahi, her and her husband came and sat in the front and came to my tour show. And she said,
That's so
she even
cool.
asked me, she said, do you know who I am?" And I said, "No, I don't." She said, it's me, whatever her name
Yeah.
is. She said, you know, "I spoke to you and blah," and she came to my show.
That's
Mhm.
So
amazing,
and
Ola.
you can change people's view,
Yes.
even if she's the only person in my whole career that their views will change on immigration. I've achieved one. And for me, that's more than I would ever have changed being a pharmacist or being a whatever.
Saying, I mean, Ola, that's really great, but at the same time, that person has to be open to listening
Yeah.
and changing. And that
Yes.
woman obviously was.
Yes.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
was.
You
She
know.
was. So now we're wrapping up. Let's have our final thoughts. Let's start with Shazia.
Our final thoughts are leave us alone. We know what we're doing. Just leave us alone. We're making people laugh. We're making people happy. You know the number of emails we get after we've done a show about from women going, I had the time of my life. I never laughed so
Yes.
much in ages. Oh, you really made me happy. You know, let's focus on the good that we're bringing to people's lives. And at the
Amen.
end of the day, we are here to make people laugh. We want people to be happy. We're not
Mhm.
going on stage wanting you to be miserable. We are going out, and you know, in Islam, intention is everything. And
Yes.
our intention is to make people happy. We want people to be happy. We want to enlighten them. We do want to educate them. And as long as we have the right intention, Allah is our witness.
Amin.
Alhamdulillah.
Beautifully
Alhamdulillah.
said. Zain, final thoughts.
If anyone who's listening does guided tours to Belmarsh, please, I would like to go. Just so when Shazia tells me he's been to Belmarsh, I could be like, well, you know what, bitch, me too.
You know what, Shaz? Can we organise that? Shall we ask 26 that when we're down? They do guest visits. I don't know how much.
I would love that.
Do you
That'd
know
be
what?
interesting.
Do you know what? Do you know what? We could go into Belmarsh and do a gig for the Muslim prisoners.
Oh
And
my
do you know
God.
what?
That'd be
And
a
do you
whole
know
the
what?
all of them.
prisoners.
26 would organise this for us in a flat.
Let's speak to them. Let's speak to them. I would love to perform at Belmarsh for
Oh,
So
everybody,
would
not just for
I. I
me.
would love it. I would love it.
Ola, you'll be going there, but you won't be coming out.
Oh, guys, wow. Thank you for tuning in to our first episode of Halal-ish. Make sure you tune in next time because I think this topic is hot, hot, hot.
A little harami, a little halali. It's halalish.
La 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 la.